Gorilla Tag had always been my favorite game. I remember the moment I first downloaded it on my Oculus. It was Christmas 2022. Almost all my classmates had talked about the game, and it was the reason I got the headset in the first place, as I couldn't resist jumping into the trend and giving it a try. It consumed me, day in and day out. The minute I got home from school or work, I'd strap on my Quest and jump in for hours. Until one day something terrifying happened that shook me to my very core, scaring me away not only from Gorilla Tag but from virtual reality entirely. This is my story. It was a dark and stormy Saturday night, and as always, I was playing Gorilla Tag. My grandma bought me some shiny rocks for my birthday, so I had made my way to the city and now was checking out some new cosmetics I had gotten in the mirror. The lobby was filled with a bunch of annoying squeakers polluting the air with noise, but another quieter voice, someone who peered through them all, a strained voice behind me, murmured, "Say Jaxvr Sepsis 3 times in the mirror." I spun around, but nobody was there. I took off my headset, and nobody was there either. I flipped the headset back on, and it was silent. The lobby was suddenly empty and devoid of all life. I trembled, freaking the fuck out. I still felt a watching presence staring daggers into me. I wanted to get off, but a supernatural force forced me to stay staring at my gorilla avatar in the mirror. Jaxvr Sepsis, Jaxvr Sepsis, my voice trembled. I paused and finally stuttered out Jaxvr Sepsis for a final time. I felt a sudden throbbing pain in my testicles and dropped to the floor. The world started to spin and my heart raced. Vomit threatened to escape my throat as I held it in. I recognized these exact symptoms. I had read about them on Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia anyone can edit. A fever, low body temperature, rapid breathing, a fast heart rate, confusion. I had it all. It was sepsis, and it was in my testicles. I opened my eyes just enough to see my avatar in the virtual mirror again, but it was different. I had somehow transformed into a red gorilla wearing a Shanka 23. I looked like Jaxvr. I threw my headset off with the last of my strength and desperately crawled to my arts and crafts room. I knew what I had to do, what to sacrifice to save my own life. As I reached for my safety scissors, a red hairy figure grabbed me by the legs and threw me into the wall. I could see enough in the dark to see what it was, a gorilla with no legs standing on his hands wearing a Shanka. It was Jaxvr's avatar. He had hyperrealistic blood dripping from the dark pits of his eyes, and he was holding a knife. "You will suffer a terrible fate," he said in a deep voice. I shoved him out of the way, pulling down my pants and grabbing the scissors, cutting off my balls. I heard a demented screech as Jaxvr started to fade from reality. I passed out from my injuries. The next morning I woke to the sun glaring into my eyes. The room was a mess, and there was a charred gorilla skeleton laid out in the middle of the room. I watched as it crumbled to dust and blew away out of the open window. I was filled with relief knowing Jaxvr's soul will forever be trapped sizzling in Satan's pen, but regret soon filled my brain. I had lost something very, very close to me, and I didn't know how I'd continue to live without it. Please use this as a warning to never ever chant Jaxvr Sepsis in the city mirror 3 times, please. It'll ruin your life like it has mine.